Welcome back to Cityline. With me, I have a fabulous individual who is the Leadership Development and Training Coordinator for PAVE. And I want to remind our audience what PAVE stands for. It is Partnerships for Action, Voices for Empowerment. Please join me in welcoming back the ever gorgeous Tanika Aiden. How are you, my dear?
Good morning. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back.
Good morning. It's been almost, a year since we've seen you? How have you been?
I've been good. I've been rolling with the punches in this environment we're in.
I know. I keep looking for the normal, and Tanika, I'm not finding it.
This might be the new one.
This might be it. So Tanika, let's talk about on November 16th from 6:30 to 8:30, you will be hosting the Pierce County Developmental Disabilities Legislative Forum. What is this, and what should people, or why should people attend this event?
Yeah, so this is the Pierce County DD Legislative Forum, and this is a free event that happens every year in Pierce County. It's specifically for people who experience an intellectual or developmental disability. We call it IDD for short. It's for them, their families, allies, people who support them. It's for them to come together and sit down with their elected representatives to talk to them about what's important to them, and also for them to find out what's going on in Pierce County legislatively. So what's going on in their actual community, and then all the way up to what's going on with our state representatives.
Oh, that is huge, because the one thing I firmly believe is COVID has made us re-examine barriers in our society, but it has also challenged us to remove those barriers. And when you said all the way at the local level to the state level, that's part of that pipeline that we sometimes don't get enough information through, because we're not meeting in person a lot, and if we are, there's a lot to be accomplished in person, but also we're Zooming a lot, so we are really competing for people's times. So when we think about asking people to attend, what can they expect?
Well, when they come, this is a great time. You can expect to actually have one-on-one time with your legislators, and we actually have some of our Pierce County executives. So those are the folks that are in charge of making the decisions in Pierce County. So you sit down directly with them and you can talk to them about what's important to you. Of course, we have some priorities, like some things we're asking for, like countywide amongst all the partners and with our self-advocates and our planning committee and across the state. So we'll have some priorities. So when you come, you'll get to hear from people in the community who experience IDD or someone who supports them. And they're talking about our priorities and what's important to them and what's important to us overall in the community. So we'll have some big, overall asks, which our lovely storytellers will have. We're going to learn about, you're going to hear who the Tracy Vanderwall award winner is, which that's a leader that's making a difference in Pierce County. And you get to sit and talk directly with your legislators and talk to them about what's important to you.
I love that. So it sounds like it's like total open door. We get to receive education, but also ask those burning questions that perhaps those stories are going to elicit from us in terms of the kind of help that we need. When you talk about that forum, what will be discussed at the forum?
So the forum itself will have just our big priorities, like around housing. That's always a need in our community for folks who, that's a need for everybody, period, right? For all.
Yes.
So around that, getting services for some of our young adults to transition into, from high school to adulthood, and then being supported out in their communities. So those are some of our priorities, but the main purpose is so that you can just sit down, our attendees can sit down with their legislators, and there's no script. So you get to go in and just have a real conversation. Like the first part is a little, of course that's scripted. We're talking about our main issues amongst the community, but really once you get in the room, It's one-on-one time for you to share personally. Now there's a time limit, so people don't take over, but it's really open. So it's just an honest, open conversation you get to have with legislators.
So I love that you defined that in terms of you get to talk with them, but there is a time limit, and that's fair because we want everybody to have a voice at that table. So what, in your opinion, can I learn by going to the Pierce County Legislative Forum? What would be important for me to hear?
Well, you really want to come and hear about the priorities, but really, when it comes to making decisions, it's up to us to make sure we're educated. So it gives you the opportunity to really get some education on what's going on in your own community. So you're meeting with your neighbors in your district. So it's a one-on-one on what's going on in your area, your neighborhood, not somebody down the street, not somebody out 3 counties down. It's you and your neighbors talking about the priorities for you and your community. And it might not be that you have the same political beliefs, right? But it's, where do we all come together? Where can we intersect? Okay, what do we believe on? What do we want as safety in our neighborhoods? These are the things that are important to us. So it's really a time when you can network, and also meet with your legislators. And of course, there's nonprofits there. So we're going to have some resources on if you want to get involved in your community, and how you can be, leaders, and how you can connect with your legislators during the legislative session. So it's really a great time to learn, to network, to get some resources, and then connect with your legislators.
You've pretty much covered all bases there, I kind of think. The only thing that's left is maybe a good pizza delivery service or something, because it's always about food with me. So, you mentioned that name, Tracy Vanderwall. What is this award all about? How often is it given, and who's going to get it?
So the Tracy Vanderwall Award is an award that goes to someone who has really been working to make a difference specifically within this community. This is a person who can be doing a wide range of things. Tracy Vanderwall herself spent her life, she dedicated her life to really making changes in this community. And she also helped on this forum. She passed away a couple years ago. So at that time, we started giving out an award in her honor for someone who exemplifies that, someone who's a leader, who brings light to their community, who's really out here trying to make a voice and make sure that all voices are heard at the table, in and out of the legislative session. So it can be anyone, really someone who you see in the community who you think is really working hard to make a difference on behalf of the community can be nominated. Even if our nominations are closed for this year or last year, you can always send us a message and say, hey, I saw this person working in the community. Maybe next year you can put them on the board to be considered. So anyone you see who's making a difference, from all abilities, all ages, whoever exemplifies leadership that's making change in the DD community can be.
Can you tell us who it's going to be this year, or is it a secret?
It's a secret. I can't tell you. You got to come to the forum, and then
there we go. You've got to come to the forum to find out. So when we talk about that legislative forum, who's responsible for convening all of that, and how do you get the attention of a busy legislator?
So this forum is convened by it's contracted out by Pierce County Human Services. So the main host is PAVE, but PAVE, we have a planning committee that is made up of community partners, all different walks of life of folks who are invested in this community, employment vendors. So for the full list, and it's open to anyone in the community, anyone who wants to be a part of it, you can come be a part of it. So if you want to see exactly who worked on the committee this year, you can go to our, we actually have a forum webpage. I think we might be the Washington State that has a dedicated page for our forum. But if you go to our forum website, it's piercelegislativeforum.org. You can get all the information on there. On our About page, if you go to the bottom, it shows you who all of our contributors. We have people like Trillium, Pierce County Human Services, PC2. We have Goodwill. So there's a wide variety of people who we work with. And it's forever changing, and anyone's invited to be on it. We open it up to the whole community. We have self-advocacy and families and parent coalitions. So anyone who'd like to be involved can join that.
I love that. So, many hands make for light work. And this is a yearly event typically. So you could think in terms of planning, oh, you must have this down pat. But planning committee members in this time of the Delta variant, you've got to probably throw everything out the window. So how did your planning committee members do with all of this?
We actually got lucky because last year we had to figure it out. It was touch and go. That was right around the time when we thought COVID was kind of on its way out. So, okay, maybe we can do some things in person. Oh, nope. So we had to figure it out. We had to figure out how to make the experience personal. So you still feel like you got private time with your legislator. We still wanted to make it interactive. So we opened it up at the beginning before the forum starts so people can actually talk and conversate and have some downtime and feel like they're in a room. Normally it's all about, really sitting next to your neighbor when you come to the forum and, going and having some cookies or, getting to conversate with other people. And so we tried to create an experience that's personal and also very accessible for the community that we're working with, right? We don't want to have too technical to ask a question. No, just turn on your camera and you can ask a question. You don't need to fill anything out. If you need us to mute you or unmute you, we tried to make it as accessible as possible. So we got a little bit of experience last year. So this year we're kind of a little more on it and we're excited because we did it last year and it went really great. We got great feedback from our self-advocates, said it was really accessible. That, normally when you go to forums, you have to type in and do all this stuff to be able, or you have to send them in ahead of time, and the legislators only answer specific questions that they got ahead of time. This is all open. So it's, really accessible and we're really proud of our work. So we're looking forward to this year too.
Absolutely. I love that it's no holds bar, that there isn't a question that's off limits. And let the conversations about barriers and transportation and wraparound services commence, because that's what this is for. Tanika, I want to say a huge thank you from my heart and my soul to you, to anybody who has touched this program, to all of your team members. This provides an amazing voice for our citizens to get in front of their legislators, get in front of their newly elected officials. At that point, we'll have newly elected officials and tell them what they need, what they'd like to see more of, and things that need to change. So I thank you so much for giving them a voice. And it's so great to see you again, and good luck on your event. All right, well, that wraps up another great segment of Cityline. It is always a pleasure and a privilege to be in your home. We've given you some great things to think about in this last hour, so please check them out. And while you're doing that, make sure you are vaccinated and you also are looking at your booster shot and continue to wear your mask. And when you do all of that, come on back. We'll be waiting for you right here at Cityline. Take care.
Tacoma, that's my home, yeah. Tacoma, that's my home. Oh, you're from Seattle. Oh, you're from LA. Oh, you're from Chicago, but Tacoma's where you'll stay. Oh, you're from Seattle. Oh, you're from LA. Oh, you're from Chicago, but Tacoma's where you'll stay, yeah. Tacoma, that's my home. From the fire